So welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as we know, today we will start the topic Swami Dayanand Saraswati. In this topic, you have to learn, you have to know about his life and contribution. So we have to learn it. I'm 100% sure that you all are habituated to go through the book. You have studied the topic. So one by one, we will discuss about each social reformers. First, now, today we will start from Swami Dayanand Saraswati. A contribution. Minimum 5 contribution must be mentioned or you should learn. As we know, the schools in which we are working and you are studying is related to Arya Samaj. And Arya Samaj society was set up by Swami Dayanand Saraswati. And how much and to how far extent this institution is spreading education among the common people, among the people, we know it well. As you know, Swami Dayanand Saraswati had established Arya Samaj Society of Novels at Bombay, right? Later on, in 1877, Arya Samaj organization was set up. No doubt, Arya Samaj Society was set up in 1875 with 3 commandments, with 3 principles, but later on 7 other rules were added and it began to spread its 10 principles, which is nowadays relevant. So in short, what is the first contribution of Swami Dayanand Saraswati? He established Arya Samaj Society of Novels at Bombay. He propagated the idea of one God and gave the message back to Vedas. What do you mean? Actually, in those days, there was lack of unity among Indians because of the religious differences. In whole India, different types of religions have been followed by the people in those days also. Many religions were popular and these religions were, and people were very, were clinged with their religious thought or views or belief, and they were to some extent narrow-minded because they did not want to bring some change that was replaced by the social and religious evils of the systems. Our religion, Hindu religion, Indian religion, is actually based on Vedas, right? But some drawbacks had crept into the system. There was need to root out it, abolish it. People were following, believing in the different concept of gods. They used to believe in many gods. There were some persons. Different communities till nowadays also believe that their God is different. So he wanted to abolish this type of nonsense or wrong belief. He preached an idea that there is only one God in the universe, and we all people have to believe in this theory so that unity among people can be created. So he propagated, he spread the idea of one God, and he gave the message back to the Vedas. What do you mean by here back to the Vedas? He said, Veda, all the lines of Vedas are the ultimate truth. I mean, it is the truth. There is no any false thing or idea or thought in Vedas, and it is only for the peace, progress, happiness, and the betterment of humanity or of all Indians. So whatever is written in the Vedas, we should follow, right? We should follow it. Is it clear? We should follow. So he gave the idea, please go back to the Vedas. Is it clear? Come towards the Vedas. It means follow the Vedas, right? Follow Vedas. And he started Shuddhi movement to convert Hindus. What happened? During the British rule, many Hindus were changing their religion, right? Where, are you listening me? Do you listen me? Are you seeing the slides? Okay. Is it visible now? Archit Gaurav, you say. Abhinav Ranjan, you are saying yes sir or no? No. Yes, it is visible. Now next is, he started Shuddhi movement. What do you mean by Shuddhi movement? Shuddhi movement was a movement and efforts made by him to convert those people again in Hindus who were converted into Christian or any non-Hindu community or religion. When the British introduced the divide and rule policy, when the British began to prove that common people, poor people, were unprivileged people, were not safe in Hinduism, they were not given the proper place by so-called upper caste people or religious people, Brahmin groups or others. So they began to convert into Christian, where they used to see the equality or peace, right? So Swami Vivekananda wanted to stop these harms of Hinduism, this type of conversion of Hindus into other religion. It is why he said that all Hindus who were converted Hindus can again come into own religion, can accept again their own religion. There is no sin, इसमें कोई पाप नहीं है, वो फिर से हिंदुइज्म में कन्वर्ट हो सकते हैं, हिंदू धर्म को मान सकते हैं। और बहुत से लोग जो भूलवश या फिर प्रेशर में कन्वर्ट हो गए थे क्रिश्चियन में या नॉन हिंदूज में, वो फिर से क्या होने लगे, हिंदू बनने लगे, और हिंदू धर्म, हिंदू रिलीजन फिर से स्ट्रांग होने लगा। ठीक है, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड हिंदू, आई एम सॉरी, शुद्धि मूवमेंट। So this Shuddhi movement was started by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Next, he opposed idol worship. He said there is no place of worshipping idols, right? उन्होंने मूर्ति पूजा का क्या क्या विरोध किया. Have you understood? And he said it is what it is not good. So he opposed idol worship. He also opposed child marriage. He opposed child marriage, right? He opposed child marriage. What does it mean? In those days, at very early age, boys and girls were married. Their parents used to do this work in very early age with their children. And it was very harmful social tradition or custom for Indians because it gave the birth of weak and frail child. Immature body was unable to bear such difficulties created by the early age marriage, so it was stopped. And he also opposed the caste system. He said, we all are equal. We should not divide ourselves into different castes because it creates disunity among us. It creates jealousy among the people. It creates the anti-feeling against caste versus caste. Okay? Against each other. And next was he supported. So he supported also widow remarriage, as you have already learned in previous classes. In those days, widow was not allowed to marry again. She had to live without husband whole life, and it was a very miserable condition for them. There was need to have the life mate. There was need to have partner for proper progress, peace, and respect. So he supported widow remarriage and he laid stress on women education. Earlier, women were not allowed to get education due to the blind faith of the people. But he opposed this vehemently and said women must be educated. As you know, he was born in 18, and in here perhaps year is given wrong, right? He was born in Kathiawar in Gujarat, and he set up his Arya Samaj Society in 1875. Here, establishment year is given, right? So in this way, these are the 5 main contribution of Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Is it clear? ऐसा कहा जाता है और ये सच भी है, ट्रुथ भी है कि स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती ने एजुकेशन के थ्रू लोगों में अवेयरनेस लाया. जितने भी सोशल और रिलीजियस इविल्स थे, ड्रॉबैक्स थे, सामाजिक और धार्मिक जो बुराइयां थी, उसको उन्होंने दूर करने का पूरा प्रयास किया. एंड slowly people aware toward all these matters and steps were taken by them to root out the all kinds of evils. So he is regarded as a great reformer in India. Is it clear? Now, next is, as you know, we have to learn about Periyar V. Swami, I'm sorry, V. Ramasamy, right? We have to learn it. He was born in Erode town of Tamil Nadu. He was a great rationalist and revolutionist. Here, rationalist means logical, who believe in logic, in reason-based thought, who does not believe in so-called thing, in blind faith, baseless tradition, customs, right and rituals. Rational, logical, जिनकी बातें, जिनके कॉन्सेप्ट तर्क पर आधारित हों. और सेकंड वन इज व्हाट? रिवॉल्यूशनिस्ट, क्रांतिकारी जिसको बोलते हो. One who believed in drastic change. So he also wanted to bring complete change in social and religious condition of the time. He opposed Congress because he used to say that Congress was a fort of Brahmins, कि वहां ब्राह्मणों का बोलबाला है, सो कॉल्ड लोअर कास्ट और अदर कास्ट पीपल का कोई प्लेस नहीं है. वो सिर्फ रिप्रेजेंट करता है अपर कास्ट पीपल का, ब्राह्मण का. एंड ही नेग्लेक्टेड इट. ही रिफ्यूज्ड द एक्सिस्टेंस ऑफ द ब्राह्मण्स, आई मीन कांग्रेस, and he also opposed caste system. He advocated that society should not be divided into castes. We should have to believe in one caste. We all are one. Because in caste system, what used to happen? Lower caste people were dominated by the Brahmins or upper caste people. Their facilities were taken by them, I mean upper caste or Brahmin class people. Their way of, their scope or opportunities of the development and progress were exploited by the Brahmin class, upper caste people. So he was deadly against this system and he opposed caste system. Next, he did not allow Brahmins to dominate or to guide, to lead the Dravidian race people. Dravidian race means the original people, I mean old community people, right? The old existed community of Tamil Nadu or South Indian people were said that they were the Dravidians. Archit Agrawal, thank you. And as you know, just now I have erased one main point that was misprinted here regarding Swami Dayanand Saraswati. His birth year is 1824. By mistake, I had written 1875. So you should have to know. Now, next is what? He was against the Brahmin domination on Dravidian race. I mean, all the lower caste people, Dalit unprivileged class of Tamil Nadu were known as Dravidians. Actually, here you have to understand, actually there is concept behind it. It is said Aryans have come from other side of India. And people who were living from very beginning there, they were called Dravids. But these Brahmin went there and they began to dominate them, lead them. They began to show their superiority over them. And this is called the Brahmin domination. It was opposed by Periyar Ramasamy. He started a self-respect movement in 1925. He appealed all the Dravidians to support it. because it was only for them to throw off the domination of Brahmins from their shoulder and to get the right place in their society to live with self-respect. He propagated nationalism and women's right also. He laid stress on education. He spread an idea of nationalism. Nationalism means a feeling of oneness on national scale. He said all Indians are the people of one nation and we should strive for others. We should stand with others in the nick of time, in the predicament situation. तो नेशनलिज्म एक फीलिंग है पैट्रियोटिज्म का, देशभक्ति का, राष्ट्रवाद है, ये राष्ट्रभक्ति है, राष्ट्र नेशनलिज्म एक फीलिंग है। कैसी फीलिंग है? जब हम ये फील करते हैं कि पूरा इंडिया हमारा है और हम पूरे इंडियंस के लिए हैं। जब दूसरों के दुख, दूसरों के प्रॉब्लम में को हम शेयर करते हैं, उसके लिए हम कदम उठाते हैं, तो अगर ऐसी फीलिंग होती है तो यही हमारी फीलिंग क्या कहलाती है? नेशनलिज्म। एंड ही ऑल्सो सपोर्टेड वुमेन्स राइट। ही सेड women have also rights, right? They have right to live with respect, right? And they should not be discriminated. Is it clear? Women should also have right to get education, and he was against the eradication of caste system and discrimination against Dravidians. He protested this view that Dravidians should not be discriminated, should not be overlooked by other caste, other group of people in society. And he became very, very popular among them. So this is the contribution of him. Now, next one is Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. He was born in poor and he used to belong to untouchable family, but he got higher education in Columbia University. Here you see the contradiction. He was poor, but he was able to get the higher education in foreign country. How it was possible? He was given the help by a king of Barodara, right? And you know, he was not of untouchable family. I mean, king was not, he belonged to higher class people, higher caste people. In spite of it, he helped Ambedkar to get education. He went there and experienced freedom and equality there. And these two things were lacking in India. There was the dearth of freedom and equality in India. So he worked for the freedom and equality among all people in Indian society. He laid stress on education to achieve justice, right? He said justice is very necessary. Justice is very necessary for all the people. And what he said, to achieve justice, how a people can get a justice with whom injustice is done. In your book, there was a dialogue. There is a dialogue, you should learn it, right? What he said, justice will not be granted by others. The sufferer must secure justice for themselves. न्याय कोई आपको देगा नहीं, न्याय आपको लेना है, secure करना है. He awakened the people. He wanted to make people fight against injustice, right? Fight against injustice. He founded Mook Nayak, a Marathi newspaper, and in this newspaper, he worked for the development of so-called Dalit and poor class people, right? He started the campaign for the rights of so-called untouchables. Next, he founded the Bahiskrit Hitkarani Sabha, an organization, right? And set up hostels, schools, and free libraries to promote education and social economic upliftment of Dalits. In short, he laid stress on education. Why? Because he used to say the people that it is only the education through which a depressed class, oppressed people can a life of self-respect and dignity, right? That is why he set up all these things and he became very popular. He is known as the Baba Sahab Bhimrao Ambedkar. Here, very good line is also given. जो कौम, I mean जो राष्ट्र, जो नेशन अपना इतिहास नहीं जानती, वह कौम, I mean वह राष्ट्र, वो नेशन कभी भी इतिहास नहीं बना सकती. इतिहास नहीं बना सकती मतलब इसका मीनिंग क्या है? तो बहुत कभी प्रोग्रेसिव नेशन नहीं हो सकता, ग्रेट नेशन नहीं हो सकता, डेवलप्ड नेशन नहीं हो सकता. So this was the contribution of Bhimrao Ambedkar, Baba Sahab Bhimrao Ambedkar, and as you know, he was the first law minister of India, and you know also he was the chairman of the drafting committee of Constituent Assembly. Now next is Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation, father of nation. You know so many things about Mahatma Gandhi, but point-wise you should learn. He played a stellar role. Stellar role means leading role, guiding force in freedom movement. I mean, he was the leader of freedom movement. He had taken many innovative steps, new steps. For example, Satyagraha and Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya means a concept where it is believed that everyone should be progressive. There should be the chances or opportunity for everyone to be progressive. And all these two steps were taken on the basis of non-violent protest. Non-violent means not to kill, not to abuse, not to hurt any others. He tried to transform India into a helping community. What does it mean? He wanted to convert whole India in a society, in a community where people can serve each other, basically to the depressed and meek people, very common, very gentle people, जिसको सीधा साधा पीपल कहते हैं आपको, जिसे जनरली लोग चीट करते हैं, एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं, ठगते हैं. उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, हम एक ऐसा समाज बनाएं, एक ऐसी सोसाइटी, एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी बनाएं जहां जो डेवलप्ड हैं, जो प्रोग्रेसिव हैं, वो पुअर को, मीक को की सर्विस करें, सेवा करें. राइट. नेक्स्ट, he opposed to child marriage. जैसा आप भी जानते हैं कि वेरी अर्ली एज में गांधी जी की शादी हुई थी, तो उन्होंने फील किया it was not a good system in our society. So he opposed child marriage and untouchability also. Untouchability, you know, it is a feeling of caste system in which so-called group of people or community do not want to touch other community, does not allow other caste people to mix with them. And he also opposed dowry system, dahej, price of bride, and पर्दा सिस्टम. तो जो कर्टन सिस्टम होता है, जिसमें आपने देखा होगा कि जो वुमेन हैं अपनी पर्दा लेती हैं एक दूसरे से, ये तो उन्होंने कहा ये सब ओल्ड एंड अननेसेसरी है, इट शुड बी स्टॉप्ड. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट? he laid stress on women education and equality, and he supported widow remarriage. So these are the contribution of Mahatma Gandhi. So these 5-6 points must be mentioned, and if you have any problem, you can write about it. Okay, one social reformers perhaps we have left. So here you see Veera Salingam Kandum Kandu Kuri. Veera Salingam Kandu Kuri. His phase was from 1848 to 1919. He is known as the prophet of Andhra Pradesh. I mean, great reformers. Actually, literary meaning of prophet is what? Prophet means messenger of God. Messenger of God, who work for the common people, for their peace, solace, progress, right? Who save them from sin, who save them from exploitation, blind faith, who make the religious feeling strong regarding God. So he was known as the prophet of Andhra Pradesh. He brought awareness in Andhra society through his writings, write-ups, and reform campaign. He wrote novels, dramas, books on natural science and history in Telugu to reform. He wrote a very famous book, Abhagyopakhya Namo. Abhagyopakhya Namo. Abhagyopakhya Namo. Actually, it was a satire. What do you mean by satire? It is a type of writing where the use of humorous irony or exaggeration or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices. I mean, जहाँ किसी बुराइयों को थोड़ा ह्यूमरस वे में उस पर व्यंग किया जाता था, है सटायर, व्यंग करना जिसको बोलते हैं. So you should learn the name of this book.